Hello, I am Todd Cotta. I'm running for the 32nd Assembly District in California in Kings County and Bakersfield.
And I'm Kalish Morro. I'm running for Hanford City Council in District B.
What I want to talk about today really gets me worked up. I mean, really gets me worked up. Because there are those in Sacramento right now who are getting ready to put forth legislation to raise the criminal arrest age from 18 to 21.
It's insane.
I remember when I was 18,
yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Not the sharpest pencil in the box. Young, dumb, and right?
You're right, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Everybody needs to go through the 18, 19, 20 years old to get realigned in life after high school.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Why do you think they are trying to raise, it's funny, they're trying to raise the criminal rate but lower the voting rate. Did you see that?
Right. I'm honestly floored by the mentality. I can't, I'm sorry, but we're in like this weird gray area where if you're 18 and between 18 and 21, are you an adult or aren't you? Like, I don't know anymore. You're supposed to be an adult. You can go off to wars. You can put yourself in tens of thousands of dollars of debt. You're obviously driving too, and and voting and whatnot. But you can't purchase alcohol. You can't purchase tobacco. You can't do any of these things.
California.
In California,
yeah.
Right? Yeah. But yeah, what are we like? When are you an adult now? Anyway, I'll let you go because I know you have a lot to say on it.
Why? I try and stop, look at what's being said, and look what's being written down, and what is the reason for this change. I was 18. Are our schools not turning out adults anymore? Why do they think this is necessary? What is the political gain for them to do this?
I would think that the more that they keep people dependent on government regulations, the more control and the more indoctrination they can get of government is good. We got to be dependent on government. And so now if you can't really be a true adult, you're still, I don't know, you're picking up what I'm throwing down here, but where I'm going with this.
Are 18-year-olds less mature and not able to think for themselves? Is there a brain chemistry difference now than when I was 18?
Well, I also don't think that we're doing our children any favors when we're I always screw up the word, infantilization of teenagers. Here they are, they go into high school, and now you're expected to be these mature young adults, and we're turning out mature young adults, but they still have to ask for permission to get up and use the bathroom. They're still being told what kind of classes they have to take. And there's all like this guiding stuff. They're not allowed to be adults or young adults, responsible adults. And now we're extending that beyond 18 years old. Like you're not expected to be a responsible adult.
Without expectation, how do you grow?
Right.
How do you achieve? Without that looming, well, I'm going to be 18, then I got to deal with myself. I got to prepare for this. But they are woefully not preparing kids for society.
Right.
They are. One of the things that really bothers me about schools is that if two people fight, both get in trouble.
Yeah.
How is that criminal justice?
Right.
If somebody is getting pounded by the bully or by that one person that's the total asshat in school, and they retaliate to protect themselves, they get in trouble too.
Right.
There is no effort to try and determine who the bad guy is in this situation. And it can't be that way.
Right.
There has to be right and wrong, not just wrong.
Yeah. And again, it's taken away their independence too, to be able to take care of themselves. They're here we can take care of ourselves as adults, but in school.
Two things.
Yeah.
Lack of personal responsibility.
Yes, that was the word I was looking for.
The second thing, participation awards. I believe those two things have directly contributed to the infantilization of our kids these days. Throwing a pillow under each one of their butts before they hit the ground.
Yes.
Because, oh, we can't have them get hurt.
Yeah.
Oh no. You know, I homeschool my kids and you homeschool yours. Mine are older than yours. But I've always instilled in them, hey, you make decisions, you live with the decisions you make.
Yeah.
My daughter, I love her to death, and she and I are really, really close. We've done many, many things in our lifetime together that I will cherish forever. But I've taught her from a very early age, although you're a girl, doesn't mean you got to be a sissy.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
You get hurt, get up, wipe it off, and keep on going.
Yeah.
We just don't do that with kids anymore.
Right.
We don't want them to feel any pain. We don't want. You know, my daughter broke her back 5 years ago. The thing on my Facebook feed just came up, and it's all these things and it was the most ridiculous thing. She fell out of a tree, but at least she had the freedom to do that.
Yeah. I know we've taken monkey bars out of playgrounds and stuff because even though I was an anthropology major in school too, and like I can go on to how we're designed and to be brachial, or I'm gonna screw up all the terms, but you know we're designed to actually hang from trees and that's,
curiosity.
Yes.
Adventure. Getting out there and getting hurt is part of. Hey, I shouldn't do that again. Just like the hot pot thing, right? You got a hot pot on the stove, don't touch that. You get hurt. They're gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
One time.
Right. Well, then, you know, with the homeschooling too, I'm finding that my kids have become so incredibly independent and responsible. Yes, I still have to get onto them from time to time, but my 6-year-old yesterday, he didn't have enough clothes, like he didn't have any clean clothes. I hear the dragging of his hamper coming out of his room. He dragged it all the way. This thing's piled up, and he's a little guy. Dragged the whole thing into our laundry room, started unloading it into the laundry, asked me just to fill up the detergent for him. Got that going, and you know, he leaves it, we get it going, he leaves it, and comes back an hour and a half later, unloads it, puts it in the dryer, and cleans out the lint trap. Like, I had to teach my own husband how to clean out the lint trap. My 6-year-old got it though, and you know, they're just, I'm giving them that freedom, you know, and they realize, well, if I don't take care of my clothes, I'm going to be smelly, and
if we don't equip them for adulthood, they will never become an adult.
Yeah, and I think that was a win for our homeschool day. He learned an adult necessary responsibility,
and I'm glad that he wanted to learn it.
Yeah.
And was ready to learn it.
Right.
One thing nice about homeschooling is that you can let them progress at their pace and let them thrive in the things they love the most.
Exactly.
Not one cookie cutter.
Yes.
You got to study this chapter, this thing right now, or you will never get it again.
Yeah.
Attitude.
So when my kids have been homeschooled from the start, they both went to a preschool program. They both had different takes on it. They went to the exact same preschool. My older one's a little bit more, he's my nerdy one. He loves science. He wants to be an engineer, scientist when he grows up. So we let him explore that a lot more.
Sure.
My younger one hated school. And I saw him really shut down a lot if I wanted to ask him like simple little things like, what's 2 + 2? And he would just be so frozen, not wanting to be wrong.
Exactly.
And so anyway, we had them in a homeschool program. So we got the worksheets and there was a curriculum. But even with that, I saw it was killing it for them. We didn't have time to go do the other things that they really were interested in.
Sure.
And I actually threw my hands up and was like, this is not working for us.
No.
And we gave them a chance to decompress, and we're actually doing it. It's this crazy, the term is really crazy because it's called unschooling.
Yeah, unschooling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's been around for a few decades now. It's becoming more mainstream, but it's really deceptive because it's not that they aren't learning anything.
No.
They're just not following like a school set type curriculum.
Yep.
They are allowed to go and explore their own interests at their own pace.
Yep.
My older one was reading at 4 years old.
Yep.
Like, he's a fantastic reader. My younger one, he has an issue sometimes remembering the words, but he's now starting to get it.
Yep.
But yeah, going back to my little one, where he couldn't, add on 2 fingers. A few weeks later, we got him like a couple tablets and put learning apps on it for them, and we would just say, hey, you guys go do your schoolwork from these times to these times, do whatever you want, just as long as you're actively learning. They'll pick whatever they want. He comes back, no fingers, what's 7 times 3? And he's like, 10. Totally different kid from what
7 times 3 is 21.
I meant 7 plus 3. 7 plus 3. I jumped ahead. I need to have him tutor me. No, I ask him 7 plus 3. He says 10. And a few weeks later, too, he's starting to pick up multiplication.
Fantastic.
That's where I was going. I jumped to the multiplication ahead of time.
No, and that's the way it should be.
Yes.
Not trying to force them all down one pipe, but there's no way a government school system that has 30 kids in a classroom can do that. It's just impossible because you're trying to move so many people forward at one time.
Yeah, and then there's a panic if you don't hit certain things at certain times.
Yep.
There's a panic. They call it spontaneous learning.
Yep.
Sometimes you've got your late starters or late learners, so they won't start reading until 9 years old.
Sure.
But then when they pick it up, boy, do they pick it up.
Exactly.
And their reading comprehension is through the roof.
Yeah.
They become voracious readers from a lot of the anecdotal evidence that I picked up and stuff. So, but yeah, it's just going back to the school system where I think that we've taken responsibility off the backs of the kids, and now they continue being reliant on adults, and then it becomes reliance on government, and I think that's where we get that indoctrination too.
But that's still no excuse
No.
to raise the criminal age from 18 to 21.
Right.
They still have to learn those lessons, and they got to learn it, and that's just life. If you don't pick it up, you will fail.
Right.
Too bad.
Yeah.
And you will pick it up. A lot of criminals for a long time have been criminal, and one day they get tired of it, and then they lead great lives because they're sick and tired of hitting that wall, and then now they're doing well. So, well, there we go. Let's, for me, I will never support anything that raises and decriminalizes bad acts for anybody. And I am not in support of what these lunatics are doing up in Sacramento right now, trying to raise the minimum criminal age. It's just not my cup of tea. Thank you again for coming on with me.
Thank you for having me.
Maybe next time we'll talk about Tide Pods. We'll get there someday.
Yeah, we will.
Thank you for watching. I'm Todd Cotta. I am running for the 32nd District of California in Kings and Kern County.
And I'm Kalish Morrow, running for Hanford City Council, District B.
You guys have a great day.
Bye.